out. Hit a nigga hole, take the safe out. 36 O's where you came about. Semi fully loaded, blow your brains out. Hating on Louis with the hate bout. Gucci on the loafers and I'm stamped now. Clap back, whipping that cane, bagging a brick, fucking these hoes, drowning in six. Fork in the water, it's time to lock in. Pot on the stove, I'm at it again. Play with my order, I'm down in your man. Clip fully loaded, red dot on your head. VVS what? Watch cost a brick. Louis went gold, you niggas is sick. Back to the trap shit. Black K make 'em backflip. Pussy nigga, you a actress. Dump a clip, got the trap lit. Kyle Lowry on the Raptor. 12 o'clock on the pastor. Throw 20, blow past you. You a sucker if you ask her. Turn a brick of salt to a crack rock. Pussy get full like a laptop. And your main thought shit, mascot. Run through the floor at the trap spot. Suicide doors with a glass top. Talk about money, you a had not. And my lawyer tough like Matlock. Soon up in the corner, hit a K-pop. Pull up in the sucker in the gray drop. Hit a nigga up, then I skate out. Gotta lay low, then you fade out. Hit a nigga hole, take the safe out. 36 O's where you came about. Semi fully loaded, blow your brains out. Hating on Louis with the hate bout. Gucci on the loafers and I'm stamped now. Clap back, Christian Dior. Dripped in my pores, laced in velour. Tipping these broads, Louis and Gucci, my wrist kind of frauds. They paid me, you sue me, your clip getting tossed. Lauren the Fuji, she tricked till she score. Fuck for a Lucy, protect on her arm. Choke on choker, my neck kinda gone. You hating, I got it, I flex when you froze. Fresh up off the back block. 2 4s in a glass pot. Talk oil on my cash stock. Fuck hoes at the trash spot. Twin turbo bought a fast drive. 30 on the hip, nigga, man down. I'm that nigga that can't stand now. Middle finger to the feds now. Clap back. One threat. Turn a brick of salt to a crack rock. Pussy get full like a laptop. And your main thought shit, mascot. Run through the floor at the trap spot. Suicide doors with a glass top. Talk about money, you a had not. And my lawyer tough like Matlock. Soon up in the corner, hit a K-pop. Pull up in the sucker in the gray drop. Hit a nigga up, then I skate out. Gotta lay low, then you fade out. Hit a nigga hole, take the safe out. 36 O's where you came about. Semi fully loaded, blow your brains out. Hating on Louis with the hate bout. Gucci on the loafers and I'm stamped now. Clap back, whipping that cane, bagging a brick, fucking these hoes, drowning in six. Fork in the water, it's time to lock in. Pot on the stove, I'm at it again. Play with my order, I'm down in your man. Clip fully loaded, red dot on your head. VVS what? Watch cost a brick. Louis went gold, you niggas is sick. Back to the trap shit. Black K make 'em backflip. Pussy nigga, you a actress. Dump a clip, got the trap lit. Kyle Lowry on the Raptor. 12 o'clock on the pastor. Throw 20, blow past you. You a sucker if you ask her. Turn a brick of salt to a crack rock. Pussy get full like a laptop. And your main thought shit, mascot. Run through the floor at the trap spot. Suicide doors with a glass top. Talk about money, you a had not. And my lawyer tough like Matlock. Soon up in the corner, hit a K-pop. Pull up in the sucker in the gray drop. Hit a nigga up, then I skate out. Gotta lay low, then you fade out. Hit a nigga hole, take the safe out. 36 O's where you came about. Semi fully loaded, blow your brains out. Hating on Louis with the hate bout. Gucci on the loafers and I'm stamped now. Clap back, Christian Dior. Dripped in my pores, laced in velour. Tipping these broads, Louis and Gucci, my wrist kind of frauds. They paid me, you sue me, your clip getting tossed. Lauren the Fuji, she tricked till she score. Fuck for a Lucy, protect on her arm. Choke on choker, my neck kinda gone. You hating, I got it, I flex when you froze. Fresh up off the back block. 2 4s in a glass pot. Talk oil on my cash stock. Fuck hoes at the trash spot. Twin turbo bought a fast drive. 30 on the hip, nigga, man down. Tech on the arm. Choke on choker, my neck kinda gone.
Let's talk it. Let's talk it. Boxing at its finest. Shout out to Joking Around. Shout out to my guy Joking Around. Shout out to the top of 215. You know, shout out to everybody that's here showing love. We live today. We're gonna start cooking at the 8-minute mark. Keep it honest. Keep it honest. Like, you know, that's the best time to start cooking. You know, so we can get into it. Right now, it's just about, you know, just setting it up. But yeah, the segment is, you know, Sebastian Fundora, Thurman canceled Fundora got a hand injury, so they're gonna postpone it to January, February of 2026. Um, plus the whole co-main. So it looks like it's just gonna be Boots this Saturday, David Allen. We're gonna get to all of this at the 8 minute mark. It's just a segment we gonna cook up on. Plus, um, shout out to joking around, Tank Jake, Tank putting on massive weight. But like I said, the title, breaking news. This is breaking news. Shout out to my guy NY Santos for breaking the news. Hitting me up. I'm out of my business. He hit me up like, yo, the fight canceled. So, oh, we gotta cook then, baby. We gotta cook. So, we're gonna make it do what it does. But so then, the co-main should have became the main, so the fight can still proceed, and you just would have added another fight. You feel me? The Frank Martin fight could have came co-main, and Stephen Fulton and Oshaki Foster could have came main event. That would have still been great. But like I said, the 8 minute mark, we're gonna cook on all this. You feel me? Getting back to the Tank and Jake situation when we gonna cook. Um, the weight Tank putting on, but he's looking sharp. He's looking real sharp. He's looking real sharp. He's looking real sharp. Got a surprise for y'all. Got a surprise for y'all. Got a surprise for y'all. I'ma say it. I ain't gonna show it. I'ma say it. You feel me? Cause they wanna post it, And if they don't post it, I told them I'm gonna post it. Y'all got a certain amount of time. So, how he looking in camp, Tank looking in camp, tremendous man. We seen little clips out here, but he put somebody down. He put somebody down. We're going to talk about this. We got a minute left, baby. So we're going to talk about that. Um, so then, let's get to it. Keith Thurman, Fundora, same story again, right? This time it's with Fundora and Keith Thurman. It's like every time Keith Thurman get this opportunity, he got hurt during the Tim Zoo situation. And then Fundora stepped in and got the opportunity and became champ. Then now he get the opportunity again. Then now Fundora has a hand injury. But how is you having a hand injury when you just was doing all of these interviews yesterday? You feel me? You doing all of these interviews yesterday, but now all of a sudden you have a hand injury, which and I say, man, it makes boxing look so WWE-ish. Could it be the event? People being blackballed by these events. But I would like to know how this injury occurred, because yesterday you did a bunch of interviews with Fight Hype. Shout out to Fight Hype. Shout out to Mill City Boxing. Bro, you did a bunch of interviews yesterday. YSM Media. You know, I don't understand. I don't understand where did the injury take place. Because if you're doing all of these interviews, it's crazy. You looked it up. You see it. It's crazy joking around. I mean, that's crazy. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't put nothing past anybody. You feel me? But it's a lot of crazy stuff going on in boxing right now, and it's not cool. It's not cool, man. We gotta tighten up, you know. But it's great content creators like us that's doing this research, and really breaking the true news and not being biased about none of it. I like the sport of boxing. I don't have a favorite fighter, you know. But I smell shit when I can smell it. You feel me? Even I can smell shit when I see it. But this right here is just a lot of gas, man. How did you get injured? You got Keith Thurman putting in all this hard work, putting in tremendous work, and now the opportunity got to be stalled. But I'm gonna keep it tall. I'm happy it's being it is getting stalled, because it's like Fundora just came fighting like 2 months ago. Now you back right in the ring. Um, could have held it for December, but January cool, just to open PBC up for the top of the year. Um, but the crazy thing is, you got one of the biggest fights in boxing taking place on the top of the year, and that's Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Um, But like I said, man, I said it earlier when I was talking about how we gonna break down this segment. Stephen Fulton and Oshaki Foster should have became main event, and Frank Martin should have became co-main because this is a welcome back fight. That's how I would have displayed it to the people and just said sorry, and then with Fundora and them, Fundora Keith Thurman, I just would have made a totally whole new card. But I would have made, since Oshaki and Stephen Fulton they stay ready, I would have made that main event. You feel me? And Frank Martin co-main. That's what I would have did. And hopefully if PBC do hear this, they can keep the venue and make the situation happen. But a lot of people quote unquote saying PBC is being blackballed by venues. It's just a bunch of like concerts happening. And joking around, he says it's not gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen. But I don't know, man. Like, I just don't like when we state fight, if there's no press conference, just surprise us with the press conference. Just don't come out here and be like, yo, we fighting and this negotiation shit happen and all of a sudden no negotiation shit happen. We seen this type story before, you know. You never lying. They Twitter fighters, you're never lying. They all hype, they all cappuccino. Cap Joe, fuck Fat Joe, they Cap Joe. You feel me? They Cap Joe out here, man, and it's crazy, man. It's sad what they doing in boxing, man. You feel me? It's sad what they doing in boxing. But you got this pit bull Lamont. Well, getting back to what you was stating, joking around about Jake Paul might knock out Tank. Tank put down, it was like he hit, I shouldn't say the shot, but he put like three big dudes down, and one was a name. One was a name. One was a name we know very well. But he put these three big guys down. No, he's looking kind of no, he's looking nice. He's looking nice. He's looking bulky. Real strong. Uh, light on his feet, not heavy. When we look at him, you might be like, damn, Tank looking kind of heavy, but he's real light on his feet. He looked like a young Tyson. I'm not gonna lie, he looked like a young Tyson. And how he hitting. I told him they'll show the video. I'm gonna show it. Got me fucked up. Right? You gonna send me something and tell me not to show it? What the fuck wrong with you, nigga? I can get nothing. Nigga, I'm trying to go get monetized. You know what I mean? Shit, this shit probably help me get monetized. Just upload this bitch like a video. As long as I get like 250,000 views, nigga, just when it's one vid, I'm cool. I upload this motherfucker. You better upload it. You know? So that happened at the Headbanger Gym. You know, that thing was crazy. It was a nasty shot. It was a nasty shot. But Jake got the opportunity. If I'm not mistaken, um, they fighting in 14-ounce gloves, right? And when Jake regularly fight, he in 12-ounce gloves, if I'm not mistaken, right? So he still got a big advantage, and it can happen. It can happen, but at the end of the day, if Tank, it's just that button is right there, and you can tell that Jake Paul is chinny. We seen Tommy Fury beat the dog shit out of Jake. You know, but Tank can do it. Tank can really do it. It can be like a Pacquiao situation. Yeah, I know it's gonna give you. I told him, bro. Listen, I ain't trying to fuck up my little connection that I got over there. You dig me? Cause I'm thinking the nigga think he doing something. You feel me? But but I'm trying to see what's up, man. Trying to see what's up, man. Trying to make this situation happen, man. But I'm building. No, I'm building. No, true that. Because we seen it with the Chavez fight, but we seen Chavez, even Tyson holding back. But with Tyson, Tommy Fury ain't play that shit. He really put the pause on it. And I guess Jake Paul learned from there is like, yeah, listen, I really gotta entertain the crowd. So if I'm not mistaken, You know, to me, this is to me, he's the new Butterbean. Remember Butterbean back then? The bald headed Caucasian brother, fat brother, always knocking niggas out, so he got knocked out. That's Jake Paul, the new Butterbean of this generation. And Top Rank, Golden Boy used to always put on them Butterbean fights, especially Top Rank. And that, and you seen Butterbean resume, you know, um, and that's what Jake Paul is, the new Butterbean. You feel me? Mm, Butterbean always sold out a crowd, especially in Manhattan, Madison Square Garden. Butterbean always sold out a crowd. Jake Paul selling out. Butterbean always went viable before viral was ever created, right? Um, Butts and seats. Uh, Ticket sales, the gate tremendous. Um, Even the pay-per-view sales was tremendous for Butterbean. But Jake Paul being broadcasted on Netflix, so the viewership definitely gonna be a high demand. You know, the young definitely gonna attend. The young definitely gonna tune in. So it's gonna be record-breaking numbers. Plus, at the end of the day, Tank is one of the faces of boxing. So just by seeing that, Muhammad Ali was uh, 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 fighting and doing expeditions. So at least Tank is trying to bring more faces back to the sport of boxing, especially that is going on these networks, Amazon Prime, now Paramount. Shout out to Azufa. Um, I want to make a segment about that. Doing this boxing news about Zufa. I don't got no problems with Turkey, Dana White, none of them. It's just turning boxing to a league is crazy. You know, and the reason I say that because to turn something to a league, you got to have teams. You feel me? And when a fighter get in, well, me personally, when a fighter get in the ring, you got a team. Your team is your corner. But the selfishness in the fighter would be like, no, it's just me going in there doing this and that. But bro, these people just went through all this training with you, even though you paid them. Um, they there with you in the corner. They your third eye, fourth eye, fifth eye, watching. So the shots you don't see, they see and they calling it out. You know, But at the end of the day, it's just the selfishness of a fighter sometimes, But I understand in their mindset, they probably think how I think, like, dang, it can be a league like that, but it's not going to work, And the key thing I said about the TKO situation, just what you do is, how they had a Super Six tournament, top rank with the Andre Ward, Carl Forge, what's his name? The brother with Andre Durrell. Um, what's the other brother? Jermaine Taylor and those guys. I feel as though they should do a tournament like that. The top contender fight the top prospect, the mandatory fight the champion, and then we get a unification bout. So every main event will be a unification bout. Every co-main event will be the top mandatory versus the champion. The fight to open up that fight, it'll be the top contender versus the top prospect, and then the opening the fight, it'd be the two top prospects. You know what I mean? And that's where we can nip everything in the bud. Because it's corny now. It's like fight people like, oh, fighting a ranked fighter is corny. I never understood that, bro. There's a top 20. You feel me? So the top 20 is gonna fight between the 20 and the top 10. Then the top 10 is gonna fight between one and top 10. And then you got the champion fighting the mandatory, but we're not getting those fights. So Jerron Boots Ennis, I'm gonna use Boots for an example, right? He comes to 154. You feel me? He got the Super WBA and he has the IBF title. We knew when Everson Lubin fought the brother Holmes, if I'm not mistaken, he from Detroit or Ohio, around that area. The brother, it was the IBF title eliminated. So we all knew Lubin was supposed to fight Bachram, and that was in negotiations through all the way through August 19th of this year. So Boots couldn't get that fight because y'all already in negotiations. So by y'all negotiating, he got to get a fight, his debut. So Me personally, I was screaming Telez because that's what I thought. You can go back and check all my old videos. I always said Telez and Boots was going to fight. I always stated that, and I was wrong. Telez ended up fighting one of Jake Paul fighters. Um, I'm gonna call him a bully or whatever his damn name is. I'm gonna call him a bull. Uh, End up giving him the opportunity, and he ended up becoming WBA champ because Terrence Crawford had to vacate when he fought Canelo, so he became full champ. And Boots had an opportunity missed, but he ended up fighting Uisa Lima, who's the IBO champion. Plus, he's ranked number 10 in the WBA, who has the interim belt. So he's fighting for an interim belt title eliminator. So once he wins this fight, he automatically becomes exactly he get the fight with the brother that just beat Telez. Unless Xander Zayas debut fight be a unification. That's when Boots can end up fighting Xander Zayas, which be a bigger fight, a bigger name, right? And it'd be for the WBO and what? WBA. But we're going to see how this all transpires. Tomorrow, Philadelphia here in Philadelphia, Wells Fargo Center, Jerron Boots Centers, Uisa Lima. Um, People say it's going to be a great fight. No, I got it being a stoppage. No, Boots, all Boots got to do is keep his hands up, chin tucked. You feel me? Because sometimes, you'll throw. No, all fighters do it. But, he like to eat shots and he like to eat shots and exchange a lot. So keep them hands up because this brother is strong. You feel me? But he's going to be there all night, so it's going to be an easy victory. It'll probably be like the Villa fight, or the Stanionis fight, but he just a little bit, no Diddy, just a little bit bulkier. Um, and another thing, Eddie Hearn has another event. Shout out to Matchroom Boxing across the Atlantic. David Allen versus the Russian Mike Tyson, the Russian Tyson. It's going to be a great fight. It all depends. Can David Allen stay in those shots? Could he stay in there and trade with the Russian Tyson? And is if not is if his punches is going to really affect the Russian Tyson. Because punch resistance, you know how heavyweights is. But we're going to see, can your papa withstand his and can he withstand yours? So we're going to find out all this tomorrow, baby. Um, but this cancellation is crazy. You feel me? It's crazy. Shout out to my guy NY Santos for breaking the news. I'm just on here breaking the news. Shout out my guy. Um, the whole card, even the prelims, it's can't do that, man. Like I don't know, man. But people saying, that I hear. Shout out my guy Vegas. I'm just gonna say my guy name. Fuck that. Nah, man. Shout out my nigga Vegas. Over there. In that side. That I get my information from. Um, they be PBC is really being blackballed for events, y'all. That's what it really is. A lot of events they get scheduled and all of a sudden some BS end up happening, and they stating that that these venues contacting PBC back stating that oh, we forgot we had this venue booked such and such date. Like, bro, you just made all these brothers go through all this bullshit. You feel me? Pay y'all all this money to book the venue, get the venue, make all of these scheduled dates. Now y'all reneging on the situation, because they know this pay per view is going to do numbers. But I won't mind. I won't mind top of the year. Y'all take over PBC, but 2026, you'll have the Fundora Keith Thurman, the Teofimo, and Shakur, all pay per view fights. Even with this Pitbull price starting it off, that'd be great. But me personally, I would have kept in the next 2 weeks. I would have kept Stephen Fulton. I would have kept Scooter and Oshaki and turned that to the main event. And I would have turned Frank Martin to the co-main. And I would have built up. You got fighters lingering around that'll do the prelims. I would have did that. I promise you. We still would have purchased it. Because at the end of the day, it would have showed us if Scooter and Oshaki would have kept a pay per view. Even if some brothers did 25,000 or 50K in pay per view, that's still good. What my brother said, what my homie said on Instagram is still good. The box is still good. You feel me? The pay-per-view is still good, and that's how I would have left that situation. But you let these people tell it, they're gonna tell a different story. You know what I mean? And that's what they do. But at the end of the day, you gotta watch. I don't know, but just be promoters. To me personally, I just think it'd be a lot of promoters that it'd be bad promotion. It'd be a bunch of jinky promotion, you know, and you got some snakes in the suit. What I mean by that is you got probably a promoter or an advisor telling you one thing, and the whole time he giving you a whole bunch of trash cans. You feel me? But me personally, I don't look at people as trash cans because I look at the ranking. If the fighter not ranked, then you fighting the Uber driver. But if you fight in the top 10 or the top 20, then your resume and your credentials is A1. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. You feel me? That's real shit. That's how I look at it. But a lot of people don't, like I said, it's like fighting a ranked fighter don't exist no more. Everybody want a name. And I'm glad Keith Thurman exposed that with his Madrimov situation. Matt, we just watched Madrimov have two losses back to back. How are you still ranked? When you get two losses back to back then, and this is boxing rules and boxing regulations. If you lose two fights back to back and you're a ranked fighter, you drop back to number 25. It used to be 20. Then it happened now you drop back to number 25. These people now, bro, this shit crazy. How you lose two fights back to back and you rank number 5, even from number 5 to number 7? How? You just had two losses back to back. Nigga, you're a cab driver. Nobody, like I tell people, 2024 was last year, right? When Jamel Charlo fought Canelo, right? He was undisputed at 154, right? Correct, right? And then all of a sudden, he ended up getting stripped by the IBF, his IBF title, and Tim Tszyu became a Gmail champion, which is an email champion, y'all call it, right? At what? 154. Then he ended up fighting Bachram. Bachram ended up knocking him out, becoming the real IBF champion at 154. While Jamel Charlo still had the WBC, WBA, and WBO, right? So he ended up being stripped, and Tim Tszyu and Keith Thurman was supposed to fight for the two vacant titles, the WBO and the WBA, right? I'm naming the WBO, yeah, and the WBA at the time. So, was it WBA or the WBC? No, it was the WBC. WBO, WBC. So Keith Thurman ended up getting hurt, and Fundora stuffed up and ended up beating Tim Tszyu and got the WBC and the WBO. Then all of a sudden, Crawford ended up fighting Madrimov, and Tim Tszyu ended up getting stripped. No. Yeah, for the WBO situation, Tim Tszyu ended up getting stripped because it's a top ranked belt. I mean, Fundora ended up getting stripped. So he ended up just with the WBC. That's why now you see Xander Zayas with the WBO, etc. Um, WBA champ Jamel Charlo still was the champion recess, you know. But you let these people tell me they're gonna oh my god, they're gonna tell you some bullshit. You know what I mean? Tell you some straight bullshit. And joking around, he said Jake Paul can't defend himself. Me personally, I believe he can. You know, because once you get the fights in that he had, and you go through training camp, and you bring his sparring partners in, you going through it for real. Because boxing ain't fake. You're not just going to the gym thinking you're gonna put some gloves on and you're gonna hop in that ring. And them motherfuckers is punching you. Punches ain't hard. No diddy. You're not fighting for real. Nigga, you ain't cute at sparring when you get in the ring. Nigga, you rumbling. You know what I mean? You rumbling. That's all pressure and pain. All pressure and pain. All pressure and pain. Hey, give me 1 second. I'm gonna take a little break real fast, little 5 minute break. And we'll play this clapback music. Go to my other YouTube channel. Louis13 LOUIEONE number 3. Subscribe there. Tune into all the new music that I be dropping. But you know I gotta do this boxing shit. Besides that, time to cook. Play it.
You hating, I got it. I flex when you froze. Fresh up off the back block. 2 fours in a glass pot. Talk oil on my cash dot. Fuck hoes at the trash spot. Twin turbo bought a fast drive. 30 on the hip, nigga, man down. I'm that nigga that can't stand now. Middle finger to the feds now. Clap back. 1 strike. Turn a brick of salt to a crack rock. Pussy get full like a laptop. And your main thought shit, mascot. Run through the floor at the trash spot. Suicide doors with a glass top. Talk about money you a had not. And my lawyer tough like Matlock. Soon up in the corner, hit a K-pop. Pull up in the sucker in the gray drop. Hit a nigga up, then I skate out. Gotta lay low, then you fade out. Hit a nigga hole, take the safe out. 36 O's where you came out. Send me fully loaded, blow your brains out. Hating on Louis with the hate bout. Gucci on the loafers and I'm stamped now. Clap back, whipping that cane, bagging a brick, fucking these hoes, drowning in 6. Fork in the water, it's time to lock in. Pot on the stove, I'm at it again. Play with my order, I'm down in your man. Clip fully loaded, red dot on your head. VVS what? Watch cost a brick. Louis went gold, you niggas is sick. Back to the trap shit. Black K make 'em backflip. Pussy nigga, you a actress. Up a clip, got the trap lit. Kyle Lowry on the Raptor. 12 o'clock on the pastor. Throw 20 blow past you. You a sucker if you act up. Turn a brick of salt to a crack rock. Pussy get full like a laptop. And your main thought shit, mascot. Run through the floor at the trash spot. Suicide doors with a glass top. Talk about money you a had not. And my lawyer tough like Matlock. Soon up in the corner, hit a K-pop. Pull up in the sucker in the gray drop. Hit a nigga up, then I skate out. Gotta lay low, then you fade out. Hit a nigga hole, take the safe out. 36 O's where you came out. Send me fully loaded, blow your brains out. Hating on Louis with the hate bout. Gucci on the loafers and I'm stamped now. Clap back, Christian Dior. Drifting my paws, laced in velour. Tipping these bras, Louis and Gucci, my wrist kinda frauds. They paid me, you sue me, your clip getting tossed. Lauren the Fuji, she tricked till she score. Fuck for a Lucy, protect on her arm. Choke on choker, my neck kinda gone. You hating, I got it, I flex when you fraud.
We back, baby. We back. No. Yes, sir. The one and only. Keyshawn Davis ranked number 1 in the WBO at 140. How? Explain to me how. I would like to know how. That's what I would like to know. I would like to know how. I ain't never seen nothing like this. Like you get stripped. You beat Baranchek, who was a bum, which nobody know about. You feel me? That's why I say top rank matchmaking be crazy. So right now you gotta put pressure and pain on them. Like we gotta get these fights. We gotta get these fights. You know, because the network, when y'all was on the ESPN, it's like y'all ain't produced those fights. You feel me? With just what T.O. and Loma was the only fight y'all really produced. That was y'all event, both fighters under y'all top rank banner, and which was the biggest fight until became undisputed. And then y'all so-called robbed them for the undisputed situation. And then when y'all left ESPN finally exposed that Teofimo Lopez was undisputed at 135. When you watch the fight tells you undisputed. But if Loma would have won, he would have been undisputed, right? Make it make sense. You know, to become a lineal champion, and when you become a lineal champion, they get the Ring magazine. You are a lineal champion, you are undisputed. You are the man. You are the king. You are the big dog, top dog of that division. You know, and your name will go down in the history books. Floyd Mayweather had four lineals, makes him four-time undisputed. But a real true four-time undisputed champion of this era is Clarissa Shields. She was the first three-time female. Now Bud is the first three-time male. And she is the first four-time female. No male has ever accomplished that. But when you got a person like Bud Crawford who don't really defend his undisputed status, how can we rank you among the GOATs when you duck fighters? The biggest fight in the world for Bud Crawford to date will be Jerron Boots Ennis. Second, Jamel Charlo. Third, Virgil Ortiz. You know, I see how a lot of nut huggers, climb trees, and put out these narratives about a person's resume. That's why I always say how fighting a ring fighter diminish a person's resume from a person who keep getting his ass whipping nobody don't know. And he never really was a champion. And when Bud fought him, y'all forced us to believe that Madrimov was the boogeyman at 154 when 2022. Fuck 22, 21, 22, 23. Going into 24, when Charlo was collecting the titles, Tim Tszyu was knocking everybody out. Where the fuck was Madrimov? That's right, he still was an amateur, right? And y'all was lying about his 300 amateur fights. Fuck about it here, man. This is all facts, no opinions, man. It's all facts. I like to cook here. I don't believe you niggas, man. I don't believe you niggas, man. But I'm gonna let y'all talk it and tell it. You're gonna paint a whole different narrative. But getting into this weekend fight, I got Boots 5, 7 rounds. I just like for Boots to keep his hands up, protect that chin. A lot of people say he get hit a lot because they see a lot of shit, hit the guard or how he roll with the punches. I don't want to see no rolling, just protect everything, stay tight, no diddy, stay tight and just look look tremendous, my brother. Look tremendous. Lima is a tough competitor. He's very strong. You know, he can punch, but the shit that I seen is, he just a fool, come forward, how them Europeans is, especially them Eastern Europeans, really can't stand body shots. But he's from Arguello, but that shit still doesn't mean nothing if you don't tighten up the body and people ain't really punching to the body. Um, this is no disrespect, us American fighters, we'll punch a hole through a motherfucker head. You feel me? Some cartoon shit. But at the end of the day, like I said, 5, 7 rounds. Boots just got to protect himself. And he can make the statement. Just go in there and just box effectively and just put on a boxing clinic. Just stay behind the jab, double up on the jab. If you want to switch, switch and just stay southpaw because this brother's a southpaw. You just stay southpaw and put the thing on him. But if you go into the orthodox stance, just always stay on the outside. You know the game plan. You know what I mean? Zay Quinn Moses made a comment about Carmel Moulton in School of Days. So Zay Quinn Moses is Shakur Stevenson little cousin. I'm glad he's mentioning these brothers now because these is the fights we want to see. Like it's best to happen now because this is how you create rivalries now. You get them to fight now. 4 or 5 fights later, the person that take the laws probably be a champ now. It's going to happen because they're going to get the opportunity all the time. Why? Because they're going to have a big name, win, lose, or draw. You're still going to have a big name, but it's always a lesson learned. But a lot of these kids, they learned their lessons in the amateurs of getting robbed, going to a certain gym, and then you end up beating up the fighter, then you end up getting robbed. So they know the feeling. So you can't hurt their feelings because they already addicted to the feeling. They still new in the pro perspective era. But it just be crazy with these people, man. It just be crazy. But I'm gonna get a ball out of here, man. I'll holler at y'all later. You know, we gonna cook later. Just here to break the news to you. Fight canceled. Only fight we got this month. Boots in his Luisa Lima this Saturday and cross the Atlantic, David Allen, Russian Tyson. We out of here. You know, I'm gonna end it. And
Fresh up off the back block. 2 4s in a glass pot. Talk oil on my cash stock. Fuck hoes at the trash spot. Twin turbo bought a fast drive. 30 on the hip, nigga, man down. I'm that nigga that can't stand now. Middle finger to the feds now. Clap back.